the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Ebusia for Yamama Baba Nsem-Pii TV. So, on the first day of November 2025, President, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, and Wako PMO, our France, on a President Macron, a meeting. Now, sa meeting way are raising a lot of questions, a lot of awareness, especially with our neighbors, Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traore, and I say junta president, or the military coup d'etat, the leader of Burkina Faso, only democratically elected president, but or the true military coup and a leader of Burkina Faso. What is interesting about that is sa kui esiye embra His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Na esiye no His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo decided say obepamo sa countries are the military coup d'etat abeye leaders from the ECOWAS nation. Inti Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, especially countries or the Sahel regions or yomu every ECOWAS meetings mana ECOWAS group inti omu here emwabia from ECOWAS omunya because ECOWAS is a gathering of democratically elected president, also be it inti omutia emrana and shishaya edaho oma ECOWAS and inti na the then His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo obeye chairman of ECOWAS then or lead the ECOWAS member state in collaboration with Nigeria and omupamo Ibrahim Traore and leaders of Mali and Niger. Elections occur also in 2024, 7 December 2024 by 9 December 2024. Na Obiye who said His Excellency President Mahama Abaye President of the Republic of Ghana. January during the swearing in, and sana swearing in or year akwentubi or to kwan ko Burkina Faso and Sahel regions say or pese or de omo eye ayonkofa no matter the way means or modebeye leaders of their countries. Because circumstances are different from that of Ghana. Inauguration time, my President Mahama even swear oath about President of the Republic of Ghana, issued by the Chief Justice then, Madam Justice Gertrude Tokonono. Nini Naemuno or invite the junta leader Ibrahim Traore, emane by Ghana's Independence Square. Emane enya pistol cry on his side ebe witness the swearing in of President John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic of Ghana. Intina ayonkofa between Ghana and Burkina Faso no pija because of that show of trust and that show of invitation by President Mahama. Now fast forward and then November 1st 2025 President Mahama signing a deal be with French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, the details of the deal, sections of the deal, focus of the deal, and the entire raise awareness within Ibrahim Traore and the friendship of Ibrahim Traore and President Mahama. Ibrahim Traore over the years, or the military coup ni Ebabe leader no. One of the causes of neo-colonialism and normal fighting against was against the French state. Because Omojidi said French companies that dominating and mining or minerals are the deterrent of regular Burkinabés. Enti France for a didi Burkinabés who be brave, Emma Burkinabés for a ni who fan who die papebia and fan sorry and fan di obon. Inti a choir member to a dear dear moon say ombe so-called puppets of the French economy now the French states in free ho sene ya omobetimi ade omo as Burkina Faso omobetua omokanina companies ombe mine a large chunk of the percentage be back into the Burkinabe state na omode ayede omode see hospitals omode see schools omode see railway omode see infrastructure ebe boa Burkinabe for now. President Mahama ne Ibrahim Traore benya nyonkofano wa expected say President Mahama ebekwa ko signing a deal in future with Emmanuel Macron. Now you go into the basic of the deal. You saka international article way the basics of this deal. Background is say Ghana as a democratic and influential member of ECOWAS and a non-francophone country has historically had less baggage than France in the region, but also less deep-seated historical ties to the francophone Sahel. President Mahama's approach has been marked by a shift from his predecessors' firm stance on isolating the military regimes in the Sahel from the ECOWAS bloc. Senate President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo AEL's bloc from ECOWAS no President Mahama eji omo awawa too even appointed obi to say Bavlo Lati say only the facilitation of the cooperation between the AES bloc and that of the ECOWAS region and that of Ghana. Now you say in a pragmatic strategic way of engagement, that is President Mahama's approach on person or go by the book and answer by the legal constitution are set in the ECOWAS. Now Danko Akufo-Addo there, or is going by the letter of the constitution that what guides the spirit of fellowship ECOWAS. But President Mahama said there or still a person use pragmatic approach. Now this strategy acknowledges the reality of the junta's firm grip on power and the immediate shared security threat from the jihadist spillovers into coastal West Africa. Apart from the fact say President Mahama any junta for one person or yeah ayonkofano adie bi baako person prevent say group bi a from jihadists omo de omo omo mining minerals no to omo de omo tu omo galamsey omo de etuo ahyehye omo ho omo hia sika no mato ahye community be in a region no makofa ma no makofa de omo pebia no makunkum nkrofo sa jihadist group no President Mahama person collaborating with the junta leaders say na sa jihadist group no entimi enya a spillover into Ghana's border and as enya a spillover into Ghana's communities. Now first signing of the deal with Emmanuel Macron first issue a security and counter-terrorism cooperation. This is the same agreement and a President Mahama and junta leaders edi hunkobo security and a counter-terrorism. Or is that same conversation akoma Emmanuel Macron, given the immediate threat of jihadist groups spilling over from the Sahel. A primary focus is likely enhanced intelligence sharing, border security support, and military equipment training from France. This directs benefits Ghana's national security and AES France ideological rifts. President Mahama say Emmanuel Macron intelligence on gather over the years was Sahel regions. Intelligence on gather over the years fighting with jihadist group no. Omo person omo call into intelligence sharing. Omo person omo call into military equipment sharing. Ekwan a omo be fa so sene ya omo betima cooperate no mo dia bo omo ho ban in the region. Now, economic and development finance. Ultimo say France nankasana even though Sahel regions e bi omo free companies be to say Société Générale a French bank and France for still our interest in Africa. Recently, and a Canal Plus or mobile be high speed internet in Ghana Omuna French dominated companies. And France still has an interest in Africa. And into that this deal is very, very important to French President Emmanuel Macron as well as Ghanaian President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, second deal here, economic and developmental finance. This deal that likely involves French concessionary loans, support for Ghanaian sectors such as health, infrastructure, and a railway to Burkina Faso. Yebekai master planner, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo for railway development all the way from Akosombo through to Ho to all the way to Bogadugu. Sa railway development, His Excellency President Mahama de call Emmanuel Macron and sending mama concessionary loans no ometima speedy up this railway developmental project and a support at the IMF. As a countries be etimima or certain guarantees, near certain releases amount into one of the deals President Mahama and the French President Emmanuel Macron omoko. Third deal, maritime security. Because of Ghana's position at the Gulf of Guinea and one reported element of collaboration in French assistance in combating piracy and a shared interest between Ghana and France EU. Into Ghana's position at the Gulf of Guinea and man a strategic security position on media fight pirates in times of pirate attacks or one move to more drill oil and at the kakaka. Enti afe move to where the issues lie. The difficult position President Mahama is placing Ghana with in terms of cooperation with Ibrahim Traore's Burkinabe junta leader. Issue here first national security. Ghana, of course, ever benefited from direct French security and intelligence support between Ghana and France against jihadist threats. That is the first positives between President Mahama and Emmanuel Macron. Now, second issue here, the corn here, risks to Ghana, perceived alignment. Junta leader and AES bloc nobody say Ghana wan hwe no hu ya waye no ho te se motoro mojo or dane untimi hu se oye left and answer oye right and answer oye she and answer ojo enti yenhwe ni ye risks being perceived by the AES bloc led by Traore as aligning with the old colonial power France, potentially jeopardizing the diplomatic outreach Mahama has initiated. Enti France for no any 8 years blocking the almost kwanta oma pai asset now, but there are agreement President Mahama akwa signing with French President Emmanuel Macron ebetimi ama omadwin say President Mahama is a snake under grass, to put it bluntly. Now, you call to the regional role, the pros and cons. Or we betime who Ghana as a peacemaker and as a mediator positions Ghana as the only viable bridge between AES and France and Western ECOWAS interest. This boosts Bahama's standing as a regional statesman. Enti o asema omoka wa hane say so person onya kuro ba ko a ye betima rely on no a obetimi di AES block no and a France ayonko fa ne be back together. It is Ghana and President Mahama play a key role in that regard. Now, two, the con a woman say ECOWAS cohesion may strain relations with some ECOWAS members like La Côte d'Ivoire, who still maintain a hard-line stance against the juntas and they view the French partnership as counter to the regional democratic principles. Until La Côte d'Ivoire kura omon pese omone Burkinabe Ibrahim Traore enya twakabia ena Burkinabe president so on pe la Côte d'Ivoire president enima hwekora inti saa yonkofo na President Mahama akokofa aba with Emmanuel Macron in the ECOWAS region, it will put a strain in the relationship between ECOWAS member states. Now, you call economic stability. The positive a woman said, a best secure crucial financial investment. Say you can concessionary loans, concessional finance, and a potentially leverage with the IMF for debt management vital for Ghana's recovery. Ghana is still at a state of financial recovery from difficult financial times. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said it was his worst time as president. Still, after a year recover. It is our relationship with Ebetimi Ayden Abua. Now, second corner say is still a constant dependent on the West. That ben Dana Ghana we will depend on our own self. Say ye bedin, we will use ye resources. Ebedin, boy yenko yende yeni Western country and was signing deals via and sana ye huatoin financially. Now, the fourth, sovereignty and trust. Hybrid partnership model. It allows Ghana to engage bilaterally on security and economic matters with both the West, France, and the AES simultaneously, demonstrating an independent, pragmatic foreign policy. Ghana yadi ya huniti ya nkasa mumi enumoko enti ya kojina we echi against we anasi kojina we echi against we move with an independent mind. And then the positive, negative say credibility with the AES. The goodwill Mahama built with leaders like Traore who attended his inauguration could be eroded as the AES movement is heavily predicated on the rejection of French influence. Into any analysis, from all the way from Paris, France, President Mahama, any President Emmanuel Macron, Akoko Kushima, ebetimi affected the relationship with President Mahama and Burkinabe President Ibrahim Traore. Obetimi de or comment and or thought about the comment section. Say a positive deal and I say a negative deal. Way in Nsem-Pii TV, meeting at the Kwabna Wafo. Mena medesa analysis we Ibrahim. Yedamasi Bibri.